I wish there was like something that would just tell me when they're done singing new things so I can, you know, not just sit there. Dummy. Okay, so I have that. Main quest is there. And we have to go left on the cock here. And then I need to go back to through Sinner's End to free the prince with my simple key. Let me test this to see if it's 120. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, okay, so it's instead of getting 80 for, or 60 for 80, you get 120 for 140. It's a better conversion rate. Save a couple just because I don't mind spending like 80. Keep the rest on me. No new tasks. Okay. You've met Framus? She's actually stocking some useful items for trouble with yourself. Ooh. Is this Ray? Fair enough. The Archivist. This is the pen needle one. I take a chakra. Can't offer me a thing yet. Just below while we can land below beyond these bells is where else is this? Alright, so I can't buy anything for bile water yet. Alright, so could continue to explore. Yeah, I don't have the apostate thing yet, but I could go right there. Finish it looking at this lab. Good boy. Poor girl. Go to this lab. Mount Bay is not exactly somewhere I'm too keen on discovering quite yet. I feel like that's skipping a lot of regions. Yeah, let me see your song. Morning field, be still, okay. All creatures burst into servitude, their plight, and this is no sympathy from me. Sticky young fly born and grown in service of this lab. The weavers have long passed from this, but still perform this function. Her body seemed a weaver's, but her mask had been forcibly removed, and her own silk was bound useless by heavy pins lodged through her spine. That's what those pins are, okay. Crazy fanatic, able to guide from sought the silk by laid on upon it. Heavy, airy jailer responsible for capturing sinners and punishing prisoners, disgusting both in matter and stench. I feel no remorse to see them felled. Lace, manic fencer who delights in battle. Defeat one more time. New penitent, small bug, shackled and cowled for sin committed within the citadel. Defeat 5 more. Guard lie, starved servant of the slab bearing a hooked long pin. None from these jailers overwhelms my senses. I strongly doubt they have ever thought to bathe. Penitent. Great might. Lives and breathes in dark places. Drapefly, erratic flying plus, nests in rags and curtains. Judge. Kind of want to read these a bit more. Symbol and a mallet. Nesting creatures that fuse its face with sharpened coral. Great conchfly. Elder conchfly crowned with a huge coral horn. Once partnered with by a mate, they will rarely be seen alone. Oh yeah, that's great. Devious ambusher that poses a fossil. Chardellard. Arlid driver. Arachnid that nestles within narcles and cavern roofs, pounces on prey from far above. Arlid. Arachnid found in crevices and caves through Farloom. Gallia, floral foe with a cone core shaped to mimic a mask. The core can be thrusted forth, bludgeon unwary bugs. The false mask alone is frightening enough to scare away smaller pests. Burr that nests in the bell vein and seeks out hard bells to protect the soft body. Winged worm. Furred bug beneath the heavy bell has grown too large to burrow, but immature has developed small wings. Invicta. Small floorfoot reacts instinctively to movement nearby, spits jealous of crackling pollen that bursts on impact. Asia. Drifting bug disguised as a flower, disperses crackling clouds. Okay. There's Splinter, imposing old insect nesting in the heights of Shellwood. Her command, twig and branch ensured no pilgrim ever survived within her territory. This one lived long and fed much. The wood will be staying much safer for her laying. Drifting bug disguised as a flower. Alright, we've seen that one. Splinter bark. Winged insect with a flaky shell that perfectly mimics its environment. It's assault like a young bug's toy turned deadly. Would I in time fashion a spinning tool to match? Into it. Splinter horn, imitated branch, or sharp, retractable horns atop its head. Splinter, oh, it's a different one. Imitated branch, and remained perfectly still for long periods, but unexpectedly swift when roused. Pond catcher, old catcher, over Shellwood Pond, bearing a long pin and stricken by the haunting. I would not. Tiny soft creatures are myself using the hard, hollow growths of Shellwood. Its woody hide is shattered, the bug will still bravely, foolishly try to attack. Pointed wood wasp. There's an insect that builds a hardy hive from Shellwood's dried bark. Destroying the hives will limit their presence in the woods. Useful to me now as I pass along the branches. Dangerous in time for the wood's order. Even a small disruption can tip a fragile balance. Pond skipper. Archel insect common upon the surface, once a staple for food for passing pilgrims. Silken. Cunning bug that hunts with darts fashioned from stick and bile. Yep. Lamp squid. Lamp, swamp. More dangerous in the moments of its explosive and corrosive death than it ever was in life. Plentiful past with a sharp proboscis and a belly full of bile. Roach feeder. Tall roach tender to starts to feed the muck roaches on a lean diet of maggot gruel. The feeder's curved pin is designed to look like to keep ravenous roaches at bay, as the tender from turning into a meal. Grizzled old roach or tender weighted with a lasso of heavy chains. Okay. Mire mite. Crawling insect with a sizzling bile sac in its abdomen. Roach catcher. Short nimble bug who uses barbed bolas to keep beasts coiled and caged. Starved pack bug with an insatiable appetite. Despite their tough hide and pungent meat, roaches breed rapidly, so they're sometimes harmed for food. Squat crawl. Stout adult crawl bug bearing several short pins. Cowardly sort that will try to remain at range to throw their sharp weapons, but best to rush them down and cut quick. Rat raker, tall bug charged to pile. Silk drags in preparation for respooling. Their sharp rake now doubles equally well as a stabbing weapon. reaching a scavenger that roosts in high caverns and preys upon passing pilgrims. By the swooping menace, a simple bug could be easily overcome. More dangerous still, they rarely attack alone. I'll crawl. Ragwing adult crawl bug, bearing a scavenge pin. Silk snipper, wielding bug, charged to cut the spool of fallen drags of silk for return to the citadel above. Drag catcher bug, drags to catch drags of silk that fall from the citadel, will attack with his staff if provoked. Mite mother, aged female mite, grown larger and stronger than most of its kin. Scar guard, huge ant hunter tasked to protect the stores and passages of its tribe. There's the perfect shell for their duty, a wall of a warrior and adept fighter. If I hope to claim their treasures, I must bring my best. Verminous pests common throughout the dark corners of Greymore. Individually they offer little challenge, but their numbers are surely vast and most remain hidden. Blood-of-mite, airborne pests, less common than its grounded siblings, attack with sharp fangs. If agitated, similar bugs would gnaw away unguarded food supplies in my homeland. As a child, I would hunt them, eager to make use of myself and test my skills. Ear scar, winged ant hunter that strikes from the air. Bone lance. In my youth, I envied all bugs with wings. I even fancied I might grow a pair. I have learned better accept limitations of one's body and augment with tools as needed. Skilled ant hunter bearing a blade and armored fan from bone. Fierce, strong, and disciplined, yet these qualities do not protect them from the haunting. Is such a fate inevitable in these lands? Scar scout, young and hunter wielding sickles carved from teeth, will often call for aid if danger comes close. Despite their youth, their impressive opponents, it seems they're likely their tribe were trained for combat from birth. Fourth course, towering iron automaton driven by rotor and cog. Terrifying achievement of Farloom to build a construct so large and yet so nimble. Mulberry ant servant of larger scar. These bugs work mainly as finders and foragers for the warrior tribe. Combat has not long been their nature. Scarwing, darting predator that clings fast to roofs and outcrops, often summoned to aid its larger companions. Yet it would make effective hunting companions, even though without the haunting, I suspect their loyalty would always remain to their clan. Lapping furted, docile bug whose wings mimic the grasses of the far fields, a common snack for larger predators. It has no means to defend itself, it only hopes for survivors to be mistaken by plant. Ragler. Thick-bladed scuttler that prefers high places. Holds an extensive supply of searing acid in a layered sac within its shell. The acid rains from its mouth on any creature it sees as food. Me? Fucking hate these guys. Brave worker carrying unstable flint flame and wearing a heavy belt protects against potential ignition. Smoke rock sifter. Symbol bearing worker of the deep docks. Pans the halls of smoke rock to find traces of more precious minerals. Deep diver, bell-clad bug responsible for mining deeper treasures below. Okay. Mist on fire, aerial worker, lost to Farnham's haunting. There's a pouch full of flintstone which they will fling at intruders. Small shoveler. Appears to have a low-level worker lost to Farnham's haunting. Instinct keeps them at their task, though it must simplify than before. This kingdom appears more advanced in metalworks than my own ever was, in great part due to the natural heat source at its base. Working in such an environment is an impressive feat. Sticky mollusk that defends itself by spraying burning fluid from growths on its back. What seems to be at first a purely defensive mechanism may also be necessary to rid this creature of excess heat. Overgrown pilgrim. Yep. Covetous pilgrim. Strongbow repeat with rosaries. If angered, they will whip their strings as a ceaseless onslaught. Snitchfly. Vicious looter foul over Farloom. Yep. Pilgrim guide. Pilgrim hiker. Hardshell bug with a climber's pin. Your pin once aid has become a weapon though the bug is unrefined in its use. Pilgrim bellbearer. Pilgrim endowed with large wings. Or endowed. Carrying a brace of iron bells. Pilgrim bellbearer. Bells would once have rung with hope and